Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to What the Duck, episode number 22, the late night edition. Suns fan had the genius idea to do one of these at a strange hour, but he's not here. Slacks, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm great, man. Thanks for asking. This is such a good idea, expanding to our new audience. Hello, guys. So happy to be here right now.
We're trying to hit the late night Friday crowd. We'll see how it pans out. Purge, what's the good word, man?
Hey man, also very excited to be here at 11 p.m. I usually go to bed about midnight, so thank you Suns fan for this wonderful idea.
Thanks, Suns fan.
It's probably awake right now, just not here.
Yep, I think he's playing board games right now as we speak.
That's great.
Listen,
that's really great.
You guys are all Debbie Downers. You know how I'm really feeling? I am excited. I am really excited to be here.
Fuck
okay?
you, Mott.
It's great.
Hey.
I got the heat working today. It was a successful
The
day
heat
as far as I'm
has
concerned.
just come on. It has been out for the last
We did it, team.
6
It was a
months,
group
probably.
effort.
But
Maud is actually pretty good at home improvement type
yeah,
activities,
we got like
man.
shitty water-stained manuals all over the basement now.
Yeah, that's
You
that's
can move
good.
that. It doesn't need to be there anymore.
It's oh god, a spider just crawled out of one.
Great. So
I
lots
shook him out pretty well.
lots to talk about, gang. Can you believe it's been a month since we did the last What the Duck? That's a travesty, y'all.
Are you serious?
It's actually
That's-
been over a month since we
Thanks,
did the
Suns
last
fan.
episode.
Thanks, Shannon. Yeah, honestly, thanks.
Yeah, blame Suns fan. That's totally it. We're going to talk about Northern Arena a lot to get things started. I want to talk about this Dota TV audio thing, Summit 6 a little bit. And then we sort of got some news, but it's been so long, some of this news isn't even really relevant anymore. First things first, for those asking about the Elimination Mode 2 schedule, we're still figuring it out. There's 3 series to go on that tournament. It's been a scheduling nightmare, and now we're bumping up against Thanksgiving and, of course, teams heading out to the major before too long. So I think we've got a sweet spot like the 22nd, 23rd, those few days when teams are back from Summit, but not yet on holiday. Hopefully we can get Elimination Mode 2 finished off. 3 series to go, gang. We had such a good start, and now it seems like almost an impossibility to get these games scheduled.
Like every other Dota 2 tournament ever.
Yeah.
It feels like. We're not alone in this, honestly.
You're right.
There's just not enough days.
And
I mean, the shitty part is that the whole reason it was delayed in the first place was to help the teams out, to be like, oh, we can't play these days, so it just got delayed, and all of a sudden it's like we have to go to Beat Invitational, and then now they have more shit going on. It's kind of their fault.
There was a lot that week too. It was like ESL, Dream League, and Dota Pit. I think were all going on at the same time. So there was a lot of stuff conflicting with Elimination Mode. It's a serious struggle. But another exciting news: Annie and Slacks heading to Dreamhack.
Woo, Sweden!
You guys are leaving soon, right? Like 2 or 3 days,
Oh god, is it really that soon?
something like that.
I haven't finished unpacking for Montreal. Oh shit.
Slacks,
Yippoo!
are you pumped? This is what, your 3rd Dreamhack?
This will be my first official one, actually. The other Dream Leagues that I've been part of, the finals have been in studio. So this is my first Dream Hack. I've heard conflicting things. I've heard it's great. I've heard it's hell on earth. I can't wait to see which one it is. So, should be exciting.
You're going to the actual Dreamhack tournament, right? Not like...
I am going to the actual
Yep.
tourney.
We get
Now,
to
for
go
those
to
of
the
you-
DreamHack Place, the actual stadium. It's pretty cool.
Yes. For those of you
Fuck you.
who don't know what this is, in short, it is like a cult meeting for nerds. They all go there. They bring their own laptops, their own computers. They sit in a building for 3 days, and most of them don't leave or bathe. I heard stories that some of them fuck on
Yep.
the floor.
No, they do.
Apparently so. I've heard from more than one
seen it.
person.
Witnessed
What did someone
firsthand.
say? Someone said that it was a gamer's Burning Man.
That sounds
Um,
awesome.
I don't want to go to a gamer's Burning Man, to be quite honest with you. I hope it's not like that. That sounds like the opposite of anything I'd like to do.
There are some parallels there, but I think that's a pretty strong analogy. Burning Man's pretty fucking crazy. Dreamhack's just a lot of gamers playing games. It's not that wild, but
Plus they're
Wild.
young too.
Whoa.
yeah.
You're going bonkers.
Do you even know if those people are overage? Jesus.
No, most of them are young. It's a young turnout, and most of them have desktops too. That's so you'd think they'd all have laptops, but on that first day, you see kids with like monitors, and everybody brings their computer chair from home. They don't provide chairs, so you got to bring your own desk chair.
I mean, that's the only thing I'm looking forward to. I've been to a LAN party before in in a big arena, and people come in with like their sick ass multicolored triple coolant PCs and shit.
The
It's
liquid
cool.
cooling, dude.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd use that. Shit evaporates, but at any rate, it's pretty neat. I like the bells and whistles, if you will. So we'll see what kind of experience it will be. I can only imagine good shit. They wouldn't be doing it for like 15 years or some shit if it sucks. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed it's going to be great. And luckily for me, I have someone as wonderful as Annie joining me. So it can only make it so much better.
Yeah. I think Dreamhack might be like one of the highest diminishing returns events in esports in terms of the first one is awesome. And you're like, holy shit, I can't believe this exists. And you go to the second one, you're like, okay, yeah, it smells even worse than the one I went to the first time. That's hard to imagine. And then by the time you get to the third one, it's just, you kind of want to leave.
Ouch. Well, let's see.
The smell
So-
really
Selling it,
is.
man.
You're really
Yeah,
kicking to
you
get hired for
really-
DreamHack 2017, right?
Hey, man, I don't know if it's a secret. You'll see. It's the combination of 4 days of nonstop churros, nonstop pizza, and then just that gamer nerd sweat that builds up. You know, by about day 3, it's just this. The air's a little thicker. You know, it's nice. It's dank.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm
It's
really
gamer
excited.
paradise.
I have never been to an
Hooray.
event like this at all.
Yay.
I've only left I've only been to Europe
high school
once.
count?
I was like 11.
This
So
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about the travel. Apparently, it's a long plane ride, and then another plane ride, and then, according to Charlie, like a 6-hour bus where you just like stop halfway through, and lepers get on and like rub their open sores on you. He was not making it sound like a pleasant trip.
Charlie's a germaphobe though, so
Yeah.
I don't
He
know
also
if that
just
one.
hates people. I mean,
Definitely.
you can never really take Charlie at face value, honestly.
No, it's gonna be really exciting. I'm super excited to be a part of this.
Yay,
Woo!
DreamHack. What are the 4 teams that are going to be there again? Slacks, Imperial, Alliance,
Adfinum and
And Escape Gaming.
Escape. Ooh, the new and improved Escape. They had a roster change in the lag time between What the Duck episodes. Can you believe that?
Who's their new player?
Great question, Purge. Surely
Great
Wikipedia
question.
has all
Is
the
it
answers.
Is it announced yet?
I don't. Maybe.
I actually don't know.
I just know it got stolen.
I don't think it's been
Yeah,
announced.
secret.
I haven't heard anything. But
Yeah,
then again, I
there's
don't
nothing
think- I don't
official
think
on
my
the-
ears
it's
are
Wikipedia.
according to the roster, it's just question marks. So
Huh.
Nice.
Oh shit!
That's my favorite player.
That's a great question.
he's been doing real well recently.
I wonder who they'll get, though, for the LAN. It's kind of a big deal.
Well, you know. Hopefully somebody.
Perhaps a Swedish person.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I see. Yes.
Maybe they'll pick someone from the crowd.
They, It'll be
You come up
Slacks.
here.
Isn't it kind of a lot of money for this season of Dream League?
Yeah, it's
For the main event?
a couple hundy.
185,000. It's not your regular 100K LAN. It ain't no summit. 185K. God damn.
God damn.
Wow. Very cool. Very impressive.
Well, it's a big shot for the Imperial Slacks. This
Being the
is,
Imperial, they beat Adfinum today. In case no one saw.
well, shit.
Great.
It's not Adfinum playing, by
Okay,
the way.
you
It's
kn-
Team Liquid. That's the other team.
You know, Slacks. Listen, I'm trying my best here, and you're just
doing
like, oh,
really
I
good.
don't give a shit. Fuck this
I'm
guy.
trying. I'm
honestly."
trying. This has tired me attempting to sound enthusiastic, and it just comes off as sarcastic.
I love it.
That's gotten me through a lot of things in the past. So
Keep
I'm
it up.
sorry. Thank you.
Hey,
Great
Slacks.
job, everyone. What?
Good
Um,
work, guys.
I have a question for you. Duckers and Dragons, or Dungeons and Duckers, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Monday night, we're planning on doing that. Now, I want to ask you a question here, pal. How important
Monday?
is Bartran to the adventure? Because I'm not sure if he's available before you leave for Sweden. At this rate, Dungeons and Duckers is postponed until after the major.
Pretty much till
it's
after.
not looking
after
great.
Christmas. Yeah.
It's not looking great,
Can
buddy.
we
Uh,
strategically kill off Bartran and resurrect him or something?
Can Bartran
Yeah, I
take a
got
nap?
great idea.
Listen, we got to get
Why
Bob
don't-
Bob in there.
Why don't we just do a great Duckers and Dragons at fucking midnight, guys? Why don't we do that? And I'll tell you what, I'll set it up and then I won't show up. How's that
You're-
sound? Is that good?
You're joking, but like that could actually happen.
I mean, I'm in. If that's what you want to do, buddy. We can schedule around you.
Woo! Let's do this again.
Oh, my.
Ha ha. Okay, but anyway, I'm always down. People always ask me, Slacks. You know how much they ask me. They're like, "How much work do you do for Duckers and Dragons?" I say 0. It is literally I show up. There's nothing going on. There's no planning. It just kind of happens. So, whenever you guys are free,
Good.
I'm ready to do magic.
Good. Fueled by Mountain Dew and pizza. That's where all the good ideas come from.
Fuck yeah, dude. By the
Always.
way, Can I say something? I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but I'm divorcing my wife. We got pizza last night, and she threw away all of the pizza. And she said, it's not good for us to have leftovers. You ever, when you leave the house and you have leftovers, it's all you think about? You just want to go home and eat your fucking pizza, and you're like, oh, I wonder when I'm going to eat that pizza. And you like, and then to have someone throw it away, it's just...
So is it because you're on a diet? Is that why she tossed the pizza?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but it cut me real deep. It cut me as deep as can be.
Hey, should we talk about what happened? I mean, I know there's a video out there, but we should talk.
Maybe we should. There's probably a person or two under a rock that doesn't know that Slacks got engaged.
There's gonna be people that see the end bumper and they're gonna be like, "Man, Andrew really hates Mott." You know, it's gonna be there's gonna be somebody that's just like, "Who's this retarded cameraman?"
Can we talk about the hostility going on in Moonduck right now?
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
There's abuse happening behind the scenes here.
I think everyone's told everyone to fuck off at least twice in the last 4 hours.
No, I haven't. I don't think I've said that to Purge. I don't think I ever say that to Purge. He's the
You
one.
better not.
You
Fuck you up.
Oh, Kevin, no, please.
Slacks, your proposal was pretty epic, though. I showed it to my family, and they all went, "Aw."
Oh, I have to show my family too.
Oh, stink. Thanks, guys.
They said it was nice.
I sent it to my mom, and she said neat with a period. No other response.
Neat. That's what I was looking for. I don't know. I felt kind of weird putting it on YouTube, honestly. I was going to keep it private, but then...
Yeah.
I don't know. Some company was like, yo, we want to buy it. We want to buy your proposal video and send it out. And I was like, that's fucking weird.
Buy it for what?
Sponsor your proposal
Dude, all those
video?
like shitty Facebook viral videos about stupid shit. That's
Right.
Oh.
Yeah,
like
they
stock
sent me an
footage.
email and they're like, yo, we're from this company. We want to give you some royalties and purchase your video so that we could put it over to news outlets. I'm like, all right, I'll fucking send you that. What, you think I'm for sale?
Dude, this is
You think you
Pokemon
have
Snap
my
all over
memory?
again.
Oh no.
At least this time you could have been paid for it.
Yeah, what, $200 to have it be on BuzzFeed? Watch this obese kid marry this hot chick? No, thanks. No, thanks. All right? Fuck that. Jesus
They
Christ.
probably get people like that all the time too, get their viral videos. Do you ever see like those viral tweets and it's like, or anything like it's newsworthy and there's like 85 news organizations that are like, Kyle, can we have permission to use this in our news broadcast? It's like every single tweet.
God damn it.
It's the same thing. They just want
Yeah.
to see you propose.
Yeah, no,
It's-
fuck that.
It's pretty wild, though. I honestly,
Ain't for sale.
when you tweeted it, I don't know if my Twitter has ever been that consistently active for like 24 hours straight. Maybe since Sniff Sniff, but this was a
Yes.
whole nother level of just like,
3,000 favorites. Okay, well.
I mean, like
Months-
unreal,
like,
dude.
Yes, that was the
Yeah,
other
and we're
time
tagged in
was
that, so we
very
just
Yeah.
get all the
No,
notifications.
I was talking about Slaxus.
No, I know, but it was funny. It was perfect.
Oh,
time.
yes, that one other occasion where.
It's like you
I mean, I've
closely monitored it.
I've had a couple fun, social media experiences, but Slack's proposal pretty high up there.
What are you gonna do, bro?
Slacks, were you upset that they removed it from the subreddit? It made the front page like 2 or 3 times and just kept getting the boot.
There was a 3,000 upvote one that was on there.
Yeah, no,
for a
it
while.
got put back when the mods realized what it was. It just got auto-flagged.
Oh, okay, I see. I know the video's
No.
up there, but I think the tweets got removed.
I mean, that shit has nothing to do with Dota. I'm absolutely no. I don't even know why the video was up there to begin with. Shit ain't Dota related, you fucking idiots.
Well, I mean, there's
Mods
an argument
posted
for if they don't put it up there, then people just keep making new threads, and at least if there's a thread, it's contained to one cesspool instead of multiple cesspools.
That's called terrorism. All right.
All right.
People just keep doing something, and then you give in to the demands, or they're just gonna keep doing it. I don't think so. Zero tolerance. All right. Fuck.
Okay.
I started watching the show Black Mirror the other day. It's fucking
So
up my
good,
mind,
dude. Did you
Yeah.
watch the one
I
about the
watched it.
bees? That fucking blew my mind.
No spoilers. I'm on season
No
1.
spoilers. I haven't
Dude,
seen any of it.
the old seasons, the BBC days. Season 3 is not that
man.
great, Slacks, but it's good.
Really? No.
Season 3 is
You need to
great.
watch
He's
Sherlock,
just fucking
Andrew.
spoiled.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Sherlock.
We
the
should do it, dude.
Cumberbatch guy. All right, guys, let's talk Northern Arena action. Montreal.
Hey.
Slacks, I know you worked really hard this event. You spent a lot of time preparing, gathering stats. I want to get your overall impressions, buddy, because you were really invested in this one. This was your big shot, and I think you really nailed it.
Yeah, man, it was neat with a period at the end. It was really good. I don't know. It's Moonduck's big first event. I thought it went off pretty damn well. I was very happy with my opening. I had a stage host moment at the last day. I was very happy with it. It was smooth. It was fun. It was not aired.
I was waiting for that part.
Oh,
I felt
man.
really good about it myself. I thought it was. But you'll never know unless you were in that stadium. You were in there to represent. But no, overall, it was good. It was good. I always like an event with a casual, laid-back attitude and with grand. So good stuff. Everybody else can suck it. Can we tell the story about Annie, though?
Can I tell the story about Annie?
That's my favorite part of the entire event.
So originally, Slacks was supposed to be on panel for the last day, and we thought there was another stage host, but Slacks got pulled into stage host, so I got put onto panel, and I was kind of unexpected. I'm really not used to paneling, so I'm not used to those throws. Like we throw it to the casters, or we throw it back to the stage or whatnot.
Kobe.
So I wasn't sure if you look directly at the person talking or if you look at the camera, and so I meant to say, where should I look? But I said, where should I put my eyes? And they have been not letting me forget
Annie, let me retell this story here.
Thank you, Slacks.
Annie is asking, she's like, I'm on the panel. What do I do? And we're like, just be natural. You've been on panel all week. And then she goes, wait, where do I put my eyes? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And she's like, I don't know. Where do I look? I'm like, okay. Find the brightest light and stare into it for the entirety of the panel. All right, that's what I do. But where do I put my eyes? Anyway, great event though. It did ruin my life. I will say that. We had a research day. The night before,
The dongler.
and I got this new game, Monster Hunter. And for 6 hours, I was trying to beat the first boss. Not
It
even
was
the
longer
boss.
than 6 hours, man. It was an entire 3-hour plane ride,
it was a
and then
long
like
time.
8 hours in the room continuously.
Well, I've never played Monster Hunter, and I didn't want to be a wuss and read any guides, so I just sat down and tried to figure it out. And they're all doing their research, and I didn't do shit. And I had this realization. I was like, I literally have not prepared for this event at all.
Yeah.
And if it goes off without a hitch, what does that mean for my career? And it did. So I don't know. I don't know what that means for me, guys.
All I know is just...
It's not the first time you've got into an event not knowing what the fuck is going on in the pro scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've always been a conscious effort to try.
Like I mean that pretty much your time with Monster Hunter that day was pretty much just an analogy for your entire life, Slacks. It was just a parallel.
Slacks and I talked about it that night, and I came to the realization that not only did he not participate in the strat session, but he actively spent his time distracting the group, yelling about the Dongler, and trying to like get more camaraderie away from the Dota stats and into Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
Ma, you spent a good like half that strategy session arguing with Slacks about how difficult the game is.
I was like, listen, you don't know how to play the fucking game. Just sit down, get a goddamn strategy guide like every other person that plays this game for the first time, and get good. And he just refused. And I will give him credit. He eventually killed the boss, the first monster, after about 2 days of straight playing. Like, he literally would bring his DS with him fucking everywhere.
Go Cockles.
Go clams.
What?
My character's name was Cockles, and he had 3 cats, Oysters, Clam, and then the cat and. It was a great time.
The audio on that game is fucked, though. It really is. It
The
sounds like a
cats
cat orgy.
are just fucking each
I
other.
will not say what someone described it as.
Don't do it.
because,
It's not
it
worth
better
ruining
be
their
that.
career.
No.
He didn't
No,
show up. He has no
No,
say.
no. If he was here, he could say it himself, but he is not here, sadly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Alright.
put...
Anyway,
It was Shannon.
well, fuck Shannon. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll say.
I mean, if you want to say
Dude,
it, you know what he
I
said.
I feel good about the current state of affairs with Suns fan after watching Westworld with him and seeing him get so triggered because we talked through the entire episode.
Let me just talk through the entire episode.
I have an idea. Let's just talk during all of the plot points.
Beep, boop.
We
Emotions.
I'm a robot.
Anywho, we should move on. What did you guys think of the event? Well,
Oh, it was great.
I want the
It was
purge
I have to say,
reaction.
Yeah, storybook ending though, with MP making it to the end. Who would have thunk? Who would have
Yeah.
thunk that
Well, and
little
then they
team would
lost.
make it?
Who'd have thunk they
Still,
beat
though.
EG in a best of one?
My God. All right, Purge, go ahead, buddy.
At least 40% of all people could probably guess that one.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a best of one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. I like that all the teams that were going were top teams, so I felt like it was like doing my homework for upcoming lands kind of stuff. You know, it's like a lot of all the teams are so good. It's fun to see the Wings perform and see how good they were compared to TI, and just how fucking scary they looked and how diverse like their strats were and things like that. Like all that shit was so cool. And it's fun to see NP win. I felt really good for MSS. Hope their team does really well. That's how I feel. It was fun to work with everybody too.
Yeah.
Make fun of Slacks the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that people think that I hate him.
Harsh. Yeah.
I hate his item builds, but I don't hate the person.
Yeah, come on. We're good friends. I mean, that's when you know people are good friends, when they can give each other nonstop shit all day, every day for a week.
That was pretty much all of us, really. For
I mean, every event that I do with the Moonduck group, I am further reminded that some people just don't get every single joke, man. I still am not. I'll never forget that paragraph of feedback when we had the random guy on the panel about how we were too mean to him and all this stuff, and it's like, dude, that is the joke. That was the reason.
That's it. You got it.
Like, he was in on it. He thought it was a funny joke. Stop defending
trust me,
people.
he was smiling. You should have seen the stuff Slacks was saying to him when they were playing Gears of War 4 outside, man. That was way more brutal or graphic than anything we did to that poor kid on the panel. Eat shit, kid. I don't know how to play. How do you move? You better figure it out quick. You suck.
I can't believe I'm playing with Distraction Slacks. Get ready to get wrecked, nerd.
Okay, allow me to explain this. So they had a Gears tournament going on, and they had the Xboxes just sitting there. I love Gears, and I haven't been able to play it for years. But I had nobody to play with, so I would just go to the audience and be like, hey, any of you guys want to play Gears that are good at it? And these little fucking kids would be like, ooh, me, Slacks. And they'd come over, and I was like, you ever played Gears before? And they're like, no. And, you know, they think I'm going to be like, oh, whoa, let's have some fun. But I'm like, all right, spawn it up. And they spawn, and I get the sniper rifle, and I blow their fucking head off, and I'm like, ha, you're garbage. And just go, because I didn't have time. I didn't have time to be nice. We had to do it in between panels. So, you know, I fucking curb stomped these kids, and Andrew came to get me one time, and he's like, we got a panel in like 2 minutes. So I just left this kid. He was like, got 1 kill out of 14. Eat shit, kid. See ya.
That poor kid.
Fuck them. I said who are good at Gears, not who want to get wrecked at Gears. For God's sakes.
I mean, he had it coming. He had it coming, that's for sure.
Undefeated, may I say? 9 children destroyed.
You know,
never lost.
Slacks, one of the other things about Gears of War that caught me a little off guard is the vocabulary and lingo that those pro players use during the games.
Yeah.
They're quite the outspoken group.
Oh yeah, they're not used to being in front of a crowd. I tell you what.
No holds barred there. They let it all out. And
yeah, you guys think No Tail's got problems?
Yeah.
Listen, these kids.
I mean, they're just sitting there playing their game. There's an audience watching them. They're being filmed and streamed on Twitch. There were some N-bombs dropped. There were some...
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the players,
I'm not surprised.
it's like 5 players sitting here, 5 players sitting here. And they would end a game where one of them would stand up and go, you got fucking wrecked, you stupid piece of shit. Ah! And like, they're like live on the stage. And I'm like, yeah. Like, that's how it should be in Dota, dude. It was hype.
Yeah.
None of this, like, it was so funny because the Gears tournament was right next to the Dota one. And when a big Dota play happened, all the Dota people would be like, yes, good. And outside, you can hear the Gears players like, suck my dick, dumbass! And I'm like, that's the crowd I want.
Suck my dick.
That's just what you say on consoles, man. That's what I was like when I was, maybe not that bad, but like Halo 2 days in like 2008 or some shit. Like,
Modern Warfare
people said
1.
a bunch of fucked up things.
Yeah,
It's true. It's true.
I guess. I was the same on consoles. I used to play Red Dead Redemption, role-playing it as old Gustafur P. Chiggins.
You played that multiplayer, dude? I played like 2 days tops.
I would
That's so bad.
Multiplayer was legit.
Can we get a sample, Slacks?
Fuck yeah, I'd ride around on the donkey, and there'd be like up in the hills, there's this house where like cougars spawn, and they can't come in the house. But if you just sit up there for like 4 hours, outside there'll be like 13 cougars that insta-kill you. And then I go on the alt chat and be like, hello? I'm up here. I'm up here in the woods. Could somebody help me?
Best Gyro voice.
Everybody would come in like this, this posse would come in. I just hear them screaming. And you could block the door too. And the cats would just be tearing apart. They're like, let us in! And they're shooting at the door. And I'm like, there's cats out there. I can't let you. Oh, hours of my childhood. Role-playing's the best.
Well, back to Northern Arena. That was my first LAN
That
ever.
Explains a lot, Slack.
No one cares, Annie.
After that tangent.
Just kidding. All right, it's your first LAN, Annie. Tell us about LANs. as a first timer?
Well, it's actually the first time I ever cast with a live audience. It was pretty cool. When we were actually in the grand finals, and I was on panel. There was an audience. I could hear myself over the loudspeaker, and it really tripped me out. That is something I have to get used to because that was not anything I was expecting.
To be fair, what's the word for that? It's not audio drift, but that thing when you hear yourself on a PA like slightly delayed, and you get that kind of robot voice because you're not hearing yourself in the right cadence. If a LAN is set up properly, you should never ever have to cast under those conditions. If you're hearing that means like you're positioned in front of a speaker poorly, or the headsets aren't sound canceling enough, or there's some there.
I don't know, dude. Even at the best LAN, sometimes you can still hear yourself.
Sometimes, but there are audio engineering solutions for those sorts of things.
True.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
that's really hard to cast
I would
through.
start a sentence and then hear myself say the sentence and be like, no, that's going to sound dumb. Finish it smart, and then have that panic moment of like, oh, fuck, it's been like a full second since I said anything. But yeah, hopefully that will improve over time.
I've never had that experience before, but usually that's because when I hear my own voice, I'm already disgusted, and it doesn't have to be like replayed back to me. It's just the voice of an 8-year-old boy. I trained myself my whole life to honestly just be filthy and disgusted with anytime I speak. It's great.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you, Perch? Have you ever had a moment?
I don't know. Maybe when I went through puberty the first time. Maybe. Then my voice changed. That was it. The second time was way easier.
That's nice. That's good. I'm waiting for that day. Come on,
someday
puberty.
you'll get there.
One day.
Overall, Northern Arena was pretty smooth, though. Like, considering that was their first time doing a Dota LAN, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. Per usual, the stock PCs had some issues, but they were well prepared with extra SSDs, and they actually had hot swap drives, which I didn't realize when we were on the panel, but they had the legit setup and everything. Unfortunately, the last day for the finals was pretty frustrating from a talent perspective. We didn't get to do any rehearsals because things were behind, which is always scary in a venue. Slacks got to stage host with a new friend that he met, that day a few hours before we started. And then there were so many tech issues that we didn't even get to see the brilliant intro that he did. We didn't have a preview monitor. We saw it in the venue.
We couldn't see the draft as the draft was going on.
Yeah, we didn't have preview monitors for that entire pre-show. The pre-show lasted twice as long as it was supposed to. So, it's for this one. It's just it's weird. Not you use that preview monitor to know when the transitions are coming and talk about what's on the screen. And I kept looking down, just thinking, why are they showing the crowd shots? What is going on? Why haven't they shown the panel yet? And of course, we just had the wrong feed on our monitors. So the draft started, and we were literally just turned around looking at the main stage, casting off of like the projector they had in the arena. It was we made do, right? I think actually not that many people
I handled it.
Probably noticed. Yeah, you guys had some fun too, Purge, casting.
No, I got them on it when you guys were when the draft started or something. I got it handled. I messaged them, and then they sent text up almost right away. So they were pretty responsive. It's just every time that a LAN happens, you take like all of these different groups of people and you put them together to do a product, and there's miscommunications and things like that, or misunderstandings for the people that actually work at the event or the venue. So it's like all these different groups sometimes miscommunicate, or specs change, or things like that. So they had to come in and run the video feed into this like little machine thing that was at our station, and then all of a sudden you guys had access. So they figured that out pretty fast, at least.
Yeah, I mean, all the people that were actually there, like the people that were assisting with tech and audio, were like super, super competent. There was no one that was just walking around dumb, but it's a lot of moving parts have to come together.
I think it's also hard to coordinate all the different games because every game has a different like community with different requirements and expectations, and having all of it flow together on the main stage and make it a seamless show is pretty difficult. That's way harder than just doing a Dota LAN on the main stage and having a couple games and it being one and done. So it was exciting though. Montreal was pretty awesome. Fun fans. It was a good city to be in. I would love to see another LAN in Canada. Hi, Slacks. Welcome back.
Hey, you guys done throwing your careers away?
Yeah.
I loved the LAN. I thought it was great. If you guys ever put another one on, let me know.
Yeah.
No problems with it at all,
You got big plans to work with Northern Arena again there, Slacks?
Sure do.
Right,
if they're hiring, I'll be there. I don't complain. I love it.
Yeah.
Good shit. I love it. I mean, but they're no different than Valve. I mean, I didn't know I was going to be hosting TI until an hour before. Neither did I know for Northern Arena. Welcome to showbiz, boys.
Boy, is that I don't know if that's a flame to Valve or a compliment to Northern Arena.
Yeah, man, you're trying to
Slacks.
preserve your relationship with Northern Arena and throw Valve under the bus. That seems like a
I
smart
didn't throw
career
Valve
move.
on the bus. They made the right move. They put Daddy in front of the camera, and I did great. So, I mean, that was a good move.
Any other memorable stories worth telling here from Northern Arena? Slacks, did you have any French Canadian? We ordered a pizza that one night.
Oh, God.
You were blown away
spit
by the
pizza.
remote credit card machine. That was cool.
Shout out to Pierre, by the way.
Yeah, Pierre. I met Pierre. Anything else? No?
No, not
That's
really.
it.
Northern
Sick.
Arena, great event. A lot of good Dota. Happy the MP made it to the end.
Can we talk about our dining experience the first day we were there, the first afternoon? Because it was something else.
Only if you want me to shame you.
What, Chili's?
Why? Why would you shame us?
I don't. What?
You were there.
Wait, the burger
Well,
bar?
I mean, yeah, but what do I have to do with it? It wasn't my decision.
What?
Oh,
Jamaican-
yes.
The Jamaican
Please,
place.
Purge.
Oh,
Oh.
God, no.
I forgot about this. Yeah.
Mango Bay.
Mango Bay, the Jamaican restaurant.
Let's be honest, it was really Charlie's fault.
Yeah.
It was Charlie.
I mean, it's not that great of a story.
All right, begin story.
Long story short, we were hungry. We were trying to get to this Korean restaurant, and we ended up in the Jamaican restaurant. We sat down, and there was only one guy there.
He was real pissed off.
Literally one guy who was waiting and serving and cooking.
Okay. Let me retell this story.
Okay.
You're fucking this up.
All right.
So we just all decided to go out to eat. Charlie wants us to eat at this 4-star fucking restaurant. And we're like, whatever. We all go over there. It's closed. And then we go to a different restaurant that's right next door. It's closed. And as this is happening, I look out and I see this restaurant called Mango Bay. And I say, that's it. That's the one we have to eat at. I mean, it's Destiny. And everyone's like, no, Mango Bay's going to suck. It's going to be terrible. And I'm like, no. This is Destiny, guys. And lo and behold, Mango Bay, the only restaurant that's open.
It's like in someone's apartment. You have to go up 2 flights of stairs to get
There
there.
was one person working, and he did not seem super excited to see us. I think Charlie went up to him, and he's like, you guys open? He's like, well, it's just me, so it's going to be a while. And we're all like, all right.
All right. So we sit down, and then we're looking over the menu. I'm pumped. And then we look over at Charlie, and he says, I don't want to do this.
He's like, I'm not feeling it. I think was
I'm
the
out.
word
I'm not feeling it. Let's go. And this is like after we already got Waters
and yeah.
and Purge's
and
face.
we had a plan, and I will say I was sort of on Charlie's side in this one, but Kevin came up with a plan. Purge is like, all right, let's just order like the same dish so this guy doesn't have to work for 2 goddamn hours trying to feed us idiots.
Well,
We'll
if
be
he had to
fine.
make because we had like 8 to 10 people, so if he had to make
Right.
like 8 different dishes by himself and then serve us, like it was gonna take forever.
It was going to be a problem, right? But
So then Charlie says, let's go. And then he gets up to go. And Purge, I've never seen him so distraught. It was like,
That's a dick move.
Yeah,
like
that
Birdie
was the word,
lost
yeah.
all over again.
Literally,
And-
like he probably went back there and he probably like started a giant ass batch of rice because almost all the food came with rice,
and
and then we
also,
just strolled out.
it was one of the most awkward leaving experiences I've ever had because Charlie had to like, instead of just saying like, hey, we're going, and the guy being like, okay, like the guy like really wanted to know why we were leaving. Could he have done anything better? He was clearly very invested in our group of people, which we originally thought like this guy doesn't give a shit about us. That was not the case whatsoever. Like we just left, we pieced
Yeah.
out, and Charlie's like, it's not your fault. We're just not feeling it. See you later.
Sometimes
And,
shit happens.
We had to
gang.
explain to this guy. Another important fact about that Mango Bay restaurant that kind of maybe played into our decision was that their Wi-Fi password was called, or their Wi-Fi was called Smoke Meth Hail Satan, which I thought was
That
was
is,
a little
that is a true
interesting.
fact.
That was a red
that
flag.
was one of the Wi-Fi's in the area.
It was the closest Wi-Fi, Kevin. It was the closest one.
You're gonna
Purge.
judge this business on some like random fucking guy that just lives in an apartment.
I mean,
think that's-
smoke
I don't
meth
know.
hail Satan
It
is a
probably
pretty
wasn't. It
strong
probably wasn't
statement.
theirs.
Dude, that's hilarious. Why wouldn't you make
It
that
was
your,
really funny.
the name of your thing?
So what did you guys think about that sick after party?
I liked it. I had fun. You guys were just party poopers.
I'm torn about this because I am a party pooper. You're right. I want to go to that esports after party so I can talk amongst my peers, maybe have a little bit of cheap alcohol, get the liquid courage going. I don't understand why you need to blare dance music in a restaurant
All right,
where
so-
that doesn't even have a dance floor.
The after
What are you
party
doing?
was in like an underground bar, and there was this room with like weird tree things in the middle, and just the loudest, shittiest club music. and you couldn't really hear each other. I was sitting across the table from Slacks, and he's screaming his fucking head off, and it's like a quiet hum. It was a beautiful, refreshing experience.
Yeah, we dodged to watch Westworld about halfway through.
You dodged.
not
I took
ashamed
care
of
of
that.
drunk Nikki for a while. It was really
I'm
fun.
not ashamed either.
I said my highs. I said my goodbyes to all the people that I needed to say my highs and goodbyes to, and then we went and watched Westworld.
I
We
said
had come
bye to
back 'cause
Bill.
We needed to
I got my
get
coat,
Slacks' DS because
and
he
we
lost
fucked
it.
off. Yeah, Slacks left his DS at the after party.
What a fucking
Seriously?
nerd.
Yeah.
Yep, he
You
brought the
bet.
dongler to the after party, and then after we were
You
outside for
forgot
like
it?
5 minutes, he goes,
He lost it.
"Oh shit! Oh no! Clams! Where is he?" And we had to go back, and we used our cell phone lights while everybody was getting down into the club music, and we found his Game Boy.
So
And the
originally
entire
there was
time
like
we were coming back Shannon's just like, donuts. Let's go get some Tim Hortons donuts, and he's just like, no, they're terrible. But he's also still saying, I want to get donuts the entire time.
I'm
to be
interested-
fair, Nikki and I did end up bringing him donuts at like 3 in the morning.
I'm
That's
glad he got him.
pathetic.
I'm glad he got him at the end.
What
of the day.
happened to you, Perch? You didn't go to the after party, did you? Where were you, buddy?
We went to dinner with Charlie, Bill, Cap, and myself. Yeah, it was just 4 of us. And then by the time we got back to the hotel, it was like 10, 11 or something. And then I found out that my flight was at 6 a.m. So I was like, oh, I have to be on an airplane in 8 hours. So then I didn't go to the party.
Smart.
Yeah,
I just stayed up.
yeah.
Not smart.
I fucked up reading the schedule. I told everybody that we had an extra day, and then we were leaving. I just misread the dates. We left immediately. We had a 6 a.m.
texted
I
you
got
that
back from the
morning.
after party at like 3:45. We had to leave at 5 a.m. for our cab to the hotel or the
Yeah,
airport, so it was
That
not.
one was on me.
I was
We all
very
got like
bitchy.
an hour of sleep.
I
more or less.
apologize for anyone I bitched out at the airport. It may have been several of you.
I gotta say, that
Wasn't
was
as
some of
bad
the
as
most
me,
enjoyable.
I guess.
That was some of the most enjoyable flying I think I've ever. Not like actually being on the plane, but
Okay.
like moving to the airport.
This
with
is a
bunch of
quick
idiots.
story, but this is a good one. Okay, so it's 2 flights to get from Montreal to Colorado. Okay, there's just one connection, and they're short flights. Well, the first one's about 2 hours. The second one's like an hour and a half. Right, our connection is in Chicago O'Hare. So first flight is one of those little tiny dinky planes that has like two rows that are 2 seats, so it's itty bitty. For people like Slacks, oh, it's tight, man. It's no fun at all. He lucks out. He gets a front row seat, the one where you get that extra leg room. You know, you got to put your bag up top. He's in there. He's buckled in. He's good. Mont and I are sitting in like 3rd row, opposite side, so we can see it. You know, the bald spot. You know, but we've got a comfortable buffer.
Me and Grant
So-
are way in the back ass of the plane. We couldn't see any of this.
Right. So we hear the announcement. The lady's doing the little safety demonstration. They say, well, we've got a problem here. We've got 2 empty seats in the back, and we need 2 people from the first 4 rows to move back so we can level out the weight difference so that the plane flies okay. So the guy next to me immediately gets not mine. It's some other dude. Gets up, and he walks to the back. And I'm like, sweet, I've got my whole row now. No way I'm getting up. And a few minutes goes by. The stewardess is standing there. You know, she's just looking more and more grumpy, progressively making more awkward eye contact with different strangers. After about 5 minutes, Slack stands up and goes, all right, fine, I'll do it. There's so much for my leg room, you fuckers. And he just grabs his coat and just stomps to the back of the plane.
And this was audible. Like this was
Oh,
almost
it-
audible at the
It was
like
it
30
was
rows
he
back.
paused. He paused as he got up, and he's like, "You fuckers!" And like everybody, me and Andrew start laughing immediately. We're just fucking cracking
No
up.
one
And
else
he's
is
like,
laughing.
There's these 2 elderly people in the first 2 seats on the right side of the plane, and they are looking confused and scared that
And
this
remember-
this giant man is just like calling people out.
And
I
it's
guess.
like, it's 7 in the morning. You know, it's like everyone is still completely groggy, and the stewardess is just completely dumbfounded. The look on her face was like, I think this is wrong. I can probably get him in trouble, but is it worth it? And did he really do anything wrong? Like, she just didn't know what to do at all. And all these old people were mumbling, just like, oh my God, I think he just said the F word. Oh, yes, he did. And then that was it. And then we took off, and everybody forgot about it. And
And there was that one guy. It was like, I think he was in front of me or something. He was getting a chuckle out of it. Meanwhile,
he
me and
was
Andrew were
like-
like the only 2 people that were laughing. But
I mean,
It
ultimately,
was not an under the breath kind of thing.
Oh, no.
I
no,
turned
it was
around,
loud.
And I
I
was like,
couldn't believe you said it when you did.
all right, you fuckers. it was like that loud. And I like made eye contact with the other people in the aisle. All right, you fucker. And then I like shuffled to the back.
But I think you got away with it because you did the patented maniac
he was
slash
smiling when he
laughed
said it.
afterwards. You know, you did the
Oh
like.
yeah, I could hear the cackle. I was in like row 35 at the back of the plane.
It was like typical Slacks, honestly. They just didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't understand.
Yep.
It's like, what's happening?
All right, you fuckers.
I learned my lesson, dude. Don't fuck with Slacks when he's on a plane.
Don't take away his
Hasn't
leg room
slept.
at 7 in the morning with absolutely no sleep.
I needed it. Every time, I will say, one thing that's the weirdest thing about Canada is on the planes, everyone looked really afraid of me. I don't know. On my first flight in, there was this tiny Canadian woman, and I sat down next to her, and I took out the 3DS, and the whole time, she was sitting like this.
That happened to me on my flight. The flight that you did you fuckers on. This woman next to me, she literally sat like in the corner of like the window. Like she literally like didn't want to use the armrest. She didn't want to fucking touch me. She's just like, get away from me.
Fuck you,
Get
Mott.
away from me.
You're part of the problem, Mott. She could sense it. She could
Alright.
see
I mean,
it.
yeah, I was laughing, so I'm definitely an issue.
Enough of Northern Arena.
All right.
Great
all right.
time. What's next?
So I've only got one other big topic here that I think is worth talking about, and I linked the doc. My Skype, has everyone else been having Skype issues, man? These Skype issues are killing me.
You're the only one.
I don't know what's
No.
going on. I'm not the only one.
Hey,
Twitter
use WebSkype,
confirmed.
Andrew. Use WebSkype.
Web Skype.
Yeah.
Oh my.
You have to log in on a Chrome browser.
Mobile Skype's been where. Anyway, if there's anything else we want to talk about, feel free to add stuff to our document here. I want to talk about Dota TV audio because that is kind of the talk of the town right now. Summit is going on, and basically Beyond the Summit is not doing any in-game English commentary in terms of Dota TV. And I don't even – is there even a ticket for Summit 6? I think they're using
No.
the
They're
Summit
using
5
They're
ticket.
using Summit
Yeah.
5 ticket.
So, conversation not to speak to for BTS as to, exactly what they're doing, but more kind of talk about this issue and how it pipes into copyright and why it's relevant right now. Purge, do you want to maybe start us off here? You're a pretty well-read guy.
So basically the issue is there's a lot of YouTubers that currently take Dota TV and they play the video on their machines, and then they also will record it, including caster audio, and then they make YouTube channels of it and do a good job with thumbnails and things like that. And then they monetize and make money from other people's work, basically. And in some way, yeah, they're doing a service because they're getting the VODs out fast. But it's also basically profiting from other people.
Yeah,
So,
it's not their content to put out.
Yeah, and there's this Valve policy that existed because back when Dota 2 first came out, people like me would send Valve messages and be like, yo, can I please fucking monetize Dota-related YouTube videos that I make? Because back then you couldn't really do it. So they made this video policy thing that says like, hey, anybody can use in-game content to monetize for revenue reasons. And so now these people will just link to that page to basically say it's okay for me to do this because it's all Dota-related content. Mm-hmm. And it's because it's a replay or whatever. So it's pretty scummy. And right now they can get away with it. You can DMCA them. But then after like 10 days or something like that, if they file a counterclaim, you basically have to sue them or do like legal action. It's the only way to get it to punish them. So
yeah.
So let me get this straight.
It's kind of fucked up.
When you were starting out and doing that, it was cool. But now it's scummy, right? Now it's not good to do.
It's different. I didn't make YouTube videos of their of other people's like games and tournaments and stuff.
Right. You take shit from the game and then make content around it by using it,
like
not
my
a
pubs or
direct,
something.
not a direct copy paste.
So like, to be clear, like the kind of stuff we're talking, Noob from UA is an example of like part of this whole equation. Like in the past, when he was taking stuff from like people's streams directly, obviously that's an issue, but the argument the whole conversation boiled down to Dota TV audio. And if you're doing your own camera work, you're allowed to record stuff from Dota TV, and if the caster's audio is in there, then that's been assumed sort of just part of the Valve video policy that everyone has been, okay, great. So once you put your voice in Dota TV, anybody's allowed to take it and then monetize it. And I don't really think that's how it works. I think that perspective is starting to change a little bit. There also isn't really a great incentive to do Dota TV anymore. Like it used to be part of something that was bundled with tickets and item sales and compendiums and all of this stuff. And even tournaments that didn't have crowdfunding, tickets were still like a revenue source. And now for even a lot of amateur, like mid-tier tournaments, tickets are free. It's hard to get tickets in the game. All of that stuff is changing with the paradigm of majors and, less cosmetics getting in with third-party tournaments and all that kind of stuff. So it's a complicated thing that's kind of a mess right now, honestly. And I'm curious if BTS is going to sort of like make a statement about it, or if they're just going to sort of let it be and see where the community takes it from here. I'm kind of curious. I'm frankly a little bit surprised that at this point it feels like a silent boycott almost.
I mean, it's literally just the piracy. It's the same argument as piracy with like regular media, video games, Game of Thrones, crap like that. It's like you either let people basically distribute something. Well, in this case, it's different because it's not just free distribution. It's literally letting somebody else profit from it. It's more like somebody takes your t-shirt design and prints their own to sell them is kind of what it's like. Except it doesn't cost them nearly the same resources to print it, really. Just takes software and a PC. So I don't know. It's just piracy. I feel like a lot of the YouTube viewers, for example, the ones that watch it on streams on YouTube, it's people that can't watch it on Twitch because it's blocked at their work or whatever. Or it's people that aren't very informed about the studios and the pro scenes. They don't know where to look. They just kind of see it through whatever YouTube channels they happen to like subscribe to and stuff. So they just happen to see things and click through. So it's like low informed viewers. I think very few of them speak English half the time. I've like written in those chats before and people recognize me, but it's not like nearly the same. So it's like you're basically punishing all these people that are low informed anyways and don't know that it exists. So it's like, but again, it's just so frustrating that somebody's taking your content and making money from it. It's kind of annoying. Like it's a piracy argument. Same thing.
And it's also if you're doing a tournament, usually on Twitch we have overlays, we have sponsor plugs, we have commercial reels, and so the sponsors really want their product to be advertised, and the people that do restreams and stuff, they're not streaming with the HUDs, they're not streaming with the logos, so that's just lost profit for the sponsors, and that's not fair.
But like I said, those people probably won't watch their mainstream anyways. Like, is it like it's better to add those viewer numbers to our stream, obviously, but I don't know if I doubt that more than 25% of those viewers would actually be on our Twitch in the first place. I mean, I think the bigger hurt is actually the VODs by far. Just because if people make competing VODs, then assuming that our VODs are up within at least like 24 hours of the game's being played, I don't think there's any reason that somebody else should be able to put VODs up. Worst case, you watch them on our Twitch.
The restreams on YouTube are a little bit of a different story. I mean, with that, if as a studio, if you're exclusive with Twitch, you have an obligation to get rid of those streams that just don't have the rights to broadcast that. I mean, that's pretty cut and dry, and you have like a legal situation with Twitch to make it an easy case as to why that's DMCA-able. The Valve video policy is what's made the VODs thing a discussion and not cut and dry, is that argument of who owns the rights to casters' voices, right? And it's,
Is it the tournament? Is it because it's in Dota TV? Is it automatically Valve? Or is it the
and
casters
the way I see
themselves?
It is basically, as casters, like when you put your voice in Dota TV, you have an agreement with Valve that says, hey, you can have this basically royalty free and you can distribute it to people that are watching on Dota TV and you don't have to pay me for it, and that's fine. But that's where it stops. Valve doesn't then have the power to take your voice likeness and rights and then tell YouTubers that they can use that and then further monetize it. That the ownership of rights doesn't shift down the lane like that. It's
how far does that go though? Because like, for example, art assets and like images, I feel like anything that gets into the game as a set all of a sudden becomes Valve's rights, and then it's the same principle. But is it unfair? Let's say Onuxi gets a set in game and she has a loading screen with it. Am I allowed to use that loading screen on my YouTube thumbnails now because it's now a Valve asset? Or is it the same principle?
That is a good gray area question, and I'm not sure if there's an official stance on that.
Because I mean, the way that you're describing is very similar in my opinion. The major difference though is that I would say, despite like art being something that somebody made through practice and creativity, there's less association with like an art drawing than there is with our voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
we have brands that are recognizable based on just
it's like work you've done versus your brand is the difference, I guess. So.
And I don't quite know how to articulate it, but I think there is sort of a difference in terms of it's a finite deliverable. So, for example, you're a Nuxie, you have a loading screen and a set, you put it in the workshop, Valve says, hey, we really like this stuff. This is the contract in which we'll distribute it. And maybe that contract says now people can use that specific image in accordance with the Valve video policy. we don't have anything like that when it comes to Dota TV that explicitly says one way or the other. I think part of the issue is that it's a gray area, right? And there's no. It's sort of open to interpretation, and I think that's part of. That's certainly why it's a discussion, you know.
Yeah, and just to address, like, a lot of people are saying, like, it's so greedy you're not putting it in Dota TV. It's like, well, we make our livings from this. If we're just giving money to people that are monetizing our content, that's just not fair. We don't work so other people can get free money.
I think in some ways it's also about principle, too. I mean...
It's more about principle, I think, than the money. Because I just, like I said, I don't think we're going to take those views and add them to our pockets, with the exception of VODs, again. VODs is actually huge. If those VODs get, like, 50K views... Yeah. Maybe we'd get half of those. I mean, we obviously need to do much better on our YouTube, and that's pretty much the case for any studio. But it's usually lower on the priority. Yeah. But it should be higher.
I mean, that right there is one of the main fallacies, though, is like people say, well, if you don't like what Noob from UA does, then you should do what he does better. And that's a cool argument from a consumer perspective, but legally speaking, still doesn't give him the rights to take your content and highlight it. You know, it's a great service. Nobody's doubting that, but that doesn't mean... That's not an argument for it being okay from a copyright perspective, right?
I mean, I feel like for me, Noob from UA is where I kind of draw the line, because I feel like he still does kind of cool stuff. And
he edits, he compiles, he does. Right. He actually takes it and makes it his own content in a way. It is that gray area. But then there's people that just directly cut the VODs and put them up.
Not that I'm saying what he does is completely, 100% okay. It's definitely like it's part of that gray area type issue. But
I'm curious what Slacks thinks here. He's making that face like he wants to disagree.
Boo-hoo, bitches! Jesus Christ, who cares? Some guy takes your gas from in-game and then starts casting in Spanish. You can't speak fucking Spanish. Maybe the Spanish people want to have a Spanish cast.
That's not what they're
doing.
I don't think anyone said anything about other languages.
Maybe people want to have their little thing from Dota TV on their channel for their 8 friends, and they say, "Oh, come look at it." And
that's not like that.
I think you're missing the point here, Slacks.
It's these guys. You take a guy that's good at YouTube. He makes a new YouTube channel. He calls it like
Dota VODs,
Dota VODs or something, and he goes into Dream League and he turns his computer on, downloads OBS, and he records every fucking game with directed camera with in-game voices, which is fucking OD Pixel's voice and whoever else is casting with him. He records for 50 minutes, and then he stops recording and he uploads that video, and he does it for every single game that's played. He puts thumbnails on every single one saying OG playing Navi at Dream League.
Yeah,
I'm sure both those teams backed out, but
and
then he makes a playlist for every tournament, and he does like 6 tournaments, and then he grows his channel to like 40,000 subs, and then he gets referral links.
If I may stop you right there, that's your real problem. Is that what is going on? What people don't realize is the convenience factor of the cross-promotional YouTube channel. BTS doesn't want to have their... I mean, you have this like a Netflix. People can have something like Noob can just take from everywhere. And then you only have a one-stop shop to see all the tournaments, all the talent. And that's what you can't beat as like your own studio. People say, okay, throw up the VODs right when the game is done, then you'll still have the people. I mean, I guess if you care about BTS, but if you care about like every single Dota thing ever and you just want to see cool shit, then you'll subscribe to one of these other channels. How do you beat that? What's the solution? The only solution would be is to have an agreement between everybody that puts on Dota content to hire one guy to make something that has the appropriate sponsors and links to all the Twitch chats. And guess what? That's not going to fucking happen. So then what's your solution? What do? You just DMC every person that tries to take your stuff. 10 more people will replace them. It's the 21st century. Piracy is the way to be. We've all fucking pirated Game of Thrones before. HBO don't like that shit.
I don't know.
But what are you going to do, dude?
I mean, this does take a lot of effort. I do think that there will be people that pop up after you DMCA certain people, but I do think that you are stopping it to a certain extent because just how much effort it does take.
There's also the argument that it does benefit casters. It gets your casting out to an audience that wouldn't necessarily have seen it. I know I've been featured in a couple Noob from UA videos that have several 100,000 views, and there's absolutely no question that helped grow my fan base. But is it still ethical?
That quickly becomes a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Like, you have to determine how much you're getting from the branding that you get from the, like, however many views that guy's giving you versus how much money you're losing because you could have had, theoretically, those VOD views on your own channel. So it is, that's what you have to determine.
It's definitely a murky area, but I think what needs to be evaluated is who actually owns the audio in Dota TV. Is it the sponsors of the tournament? Is it the tournament? Is it the casters? Is it a complete free-for-all, which it is now, which is what
well,
needs to be
I'm saying
re-examined.
the opposite. If people start pushing that Valve has to make their decision, we have to get rid of the gray line, guys, and we have to say that if you use this stuff, it's copyright. You win one battle and you lose another. Then suddenly, content creators that use shit in-game from stuff, then they can get destroyed too. If it turns out that anything that you use as a replay is
Or they could just start asking permission to use our fucking content. Why is that such a problem? Why does it have to be they steal first and then ask for forgiveness later? Why can't
because they know,
or their English is bad? There's lots of reasons.
Well, I mean, for me, like, if somebody came up to us and it was like, "Hey, can we use your full VOD with your camera work in for our YouTube video?" We would probably say no, wouldn't we?
Of course we'd say no.
I would actually. If they gave us like full social media link, like 4 lines of social media, I would be like, okay, sure. Then I would maybe do it. But
yeah, I mean, it's like ultimately, I don't disagree with like the general concept you're getting at. Like you're fighting a hydra, right? Like piracy is on the rise. You're gonna waste a lot of time DMCAing YouTube channels as more and more just pop up. But
we're looking to go back to ground level and rewrite how it's done and rewrite what someone can and can't do.
You got to pick your battles. But I think right now it's very frustrating hearing like the core of our audience like misinterpret this Valve video policy, thinking that using our voices because it's in Dota TV, it's just free reign to do everything. You know, just because of that change doesn't mean that, you know, all of these YouTube channels just go away or everyone can DMCA them. Or it doesn't fundamentally change anything except that final step in the DMCA where we can actually push it to the next level and say, no, this is fucked up and this is supposed to be taken down. We own this. And right now, we can't do that. It literally stops with you have to file legal action and you're stuck in this gray area limbo. I think that's the fundamental problem. Not
then it comes down to how expensive is that. If it's $50 a form letter, then depending on the size of the channel, I think it's worth it. If they're just straight up ripping VODs completely from every single tournament creator, then I say everybody pools together $10 and DMCA's them and does the form letter. Break the big ones that, like, I'm not talking Noob from U8. That guy actually edits everything now because he stopped because people got upset about it.
We're talking straight
his
pirates.
Shit's completely fine.
The stuff that's ripped off.
The people that are recording
VODs,
the caster's camera, the caster's voice, basically everything that was on the stream without the overlays or sponsor plugs.
That's where it's a problem. And I think that can be changed, Slacks. You're not going to stop all piracy, but I think that fundamental thing can be fixed
you gotta ask, how many views are these guys getting? The ones that could directly rip somebody's thing.
They're like 50K views per game.
At least
50K views.
It depends on the channel, dude. Some of them, you know, get enough strikes that they get taken down. It fluctuates a lot, but they grow quickly. It's like you said, from a consumer perspective, you see the appeal. You see why people subscribe to those channels.
That's the appeal, you know? It's because it's easier. It's the easier way to go. And the only way to stop that kind of shit is to find something that can rival it. I mean, you would have...
Slow and steady, buddy.
You could have you could have a YouTube channel that makes playlists for all tournaments, but it's still the tournament's videos.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't profit from it. They would just actually be a hub of organizing.
Yeah.
That would literally solve the problem.
It would.
You could do the same thing, but you just don't make your own videos. You just fucking make playlists of other tournaments videos. There you go. Problem solved.
There you go. I mean, that's a lot more pragmatic than saying something
That's
like,
what somebody should do.
We should stop this. This should stop. Saying that all the studios should come together and have a group YouTube where they upload stuff with all the sponsor links, all the individual links that they want. That's a pragmatic answer, and that would make it easier for the viewers to have a nice, easy solution.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
But, yeah.
For what it's worth, that will exist at some point in the future. There will be a better solution for VODs than YouTube. Like I would say YouTube is either close to plateaued or starting to swing downward by a lot of metrics. Ad rates, most certainly. I mean, it's a joke how much money you make on YouTube. Even popular YouTubers, you know, we've all read about the animators that can't make, you know, ends meet anymore. All this kind of stuff. I think there's a change coming on that front, and eventually there will be a demand for either a subscription-based thing or some sort of new ad setup where you can have VODs in one place and, you know, we could be paid to upload our VODs to somewhere instead of it being this big clusterfuck on YouTube. I don't know when or where that specifically happens, but people are already thinking about ways to try to make that happen. So you're definitely down the right road, Slacks. It's a give and take, right? I mean,
I'm just saying, you got to be careful. The grass is always greener, right? I mean, we are very lucky in Dota that we have so much gray area to work in. If you work in something like Riot, You can't do fucking anything with that footage. And because they don't have a gray area, if you steal any of the footage, it automatically gets taken down. That's why there's hardly any content creators, or the content creators aren't giving a shit about. If you start putting all these stinks about, we have to make sure that these things are completely illegal to do, then you start putting in hard rules that fuck over people that want to do not that bad of shit, you know? I mean, Purge's early career was taking some of this stuff and making it into videos of his own.
But he never did that with Dota TV, though. None of that has anything to do with Dota TV.
The only line that we don't want people to do is 50-minute game full rips. Like, if they take, like, a 15-minute segment and upload it, I'm even okay with that.
Yeah.
That's already better than the entire game. But if it's the entire game from draft till the end
with our camera
audio,
and our voice.
All right,
that's too much. It's so
what
lazy
about
and
just
blatant.
camera? Can I say on just camera?
Just camera? That's completely fine too.
What about just your voice and I'll animate it? Is that cool?
And what do you mean animate it?
Like, I'll take your cast and I'll make like a funny animation out of it.
Of course, that's completely fine, because then you're doing extra work. If you open OBS,
if it's your content, if you're doing something to make it your own, that's different than a direct rip of stuff that is ours.
You have to alter it in some way.
You have to treat it like a cover of a song, kind of. Like, you can't just play the same song over, like straight up rip it. You have to like actually play it.
If you do anything other than the laziest content creation option possible, then I don't give a shit.
But you gotta ask yourselves, if this is the laziest content creation possible, then why is it more popular than the original content that it could be?
Because of thumbnails and hyperlinks and keywords and
make better
thumbnails.
Make better hyperlinks.
They should. I agree.
I mean,
we should do that.
There also are like limitations in terms of they can churn out VODs faster than we can. When we're doing a live production, we can get them up in 2 hours. They can get them up instantly, like the second that shit is done, because they're like there are some other. I mean, do you really not see a fundamental difference here between like ripping off full VODs and then like highlighting stuff and making a fundamental change? Like,
I see it. Just put it out there. Just putting out the alternate opinion.
Are you trying to be contrarian for the sake of being contrarian, or do you actually believe a lot of this stuff?
No, actually,
That's
I mean, I think he's right about, like, it is amazing that Dota is open and you can make shit and monetize it, and like that is cool. It does like help content creators.
That's how most of us got our careers going.
I don't give a fuck. If you look at my post history, I've always hated Noob from UA, you fucking retards.
I fucking hate you.
Debated
so much.
God damn it,
I knew that was what was happening. I knew he was just literally being contrarian for the sake of being contrarian.
Why do I fall for it every fucking time? So I think that's the reason we work as host and co-host, because I'm so goddamn gullible. It even happened on the panel. I was just like, wow, we really demoralized him. He's kind of upset. 5 minutes later, debated, idiot. And I lap it up every fucking time. Every goddamn time.
I mean, really, the only reason why these people get views is because they're fucking have zero effort, they're lazy, they put it up immediately after it's done, and then they use everyone's content. So as long as we have some kind of fundamental system to stop them from being able to use everybody's content or just do the direct copy-paste, then people that actually make content that their sponsors need that revenue from can actually get it themselves instead of getting it stolen by some dude who's not even putting any effort in. I completely agree. It's completely ridiculous, and it affects a lot more. And if you say, well, boo-hoo, you guys are just,
so like you did 5 minutes ago?
Yeah. Then
guys, all right.
You're just being lazy.
Business idea for anybody watching. Make a YouTube channel.
That's a hub.
Make playlists of every single tournament that's being done, but it has to be playlists of other people's VODs, like the actual VODs.
From the studios, not the rippers.
And then ask all those studios like $200 a month to keep their VODs updated or something.
And
then if the channel got really huge, but it's not making profit, it's only making profit by basically extortion fees, which is whatever. Like people, I guarantee that every studio would like be willing to pay like $200 a month. Yeah,
you make
basically.
A Yelp. Every single studio will say, yes, I will pay you $200 a month. You get 4 different studios to do it.
That way, third party YouTubers like that don't even have the same appeal.
I'm gonna
and
do
they
it
do
right
a good
now.
job with the playlist.
Get fucked, dummies. I'm rich. That's what. The whole time I tell you guys that's a terrible idea, and I've been making it while we've been talking. Gotcha.
Well done,
anyway.
Slacks.
So, audience, can you see why we tell each other to fuck off every 2 minutes?
Oh my! All right, well, that's all I've got, gang. Do we have any other stories for story time? And we did some Northern Arena storytelling. Anybody have a brain buster to wrap up this this what the duck here, or any other topics for discussion we want to broach here? No. Okay.
What's happened in the world of Dodo this week? I don't know.
Is anybody tearing it up with their Summit 6 prediction bracket from Wikipedia?
I was gonna fill that up, but I never did.
Oh.
I think the Summit's doing great stuff. I'm enjoying the program. I know you're not watching out there, but good job, guys.
Hey, Cuddle Guy's in chat.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they
Right.
I don't know. The content that they make there, I've always loved it. It was the first Dota tournament that I actually had respect for, because back in the day before Summit, everything was so, put your suits on, everyone. We're going to talk about video games, so.
And then you came along.
Still dank, boys. They're still doing it.
I really liked the video they did with the American one. That was pretty.
That was so funny,
pretty
dude.
good. I don't know if they could have
53
written
states,
that
man.
any better. Yeah, misery. There's 51. No, there's 52. Is it 53?
Beautiful.
Classic.
I don't know. Nothing else.
Oh, wait,
Except
we
for-
do have something else.
What's up?
We do know the final day for
Oh,
elimination mode.
well, it looks like Sunsfan was working. Oh, he
Oh
highlighted
my
it.
God.
So,
Wow, he's actually alive.
elimination mode will be on November 23rd. We are going to do all 3 series on the same day. And it looks like we are okay. We're going to do all three series on the same day. So, we're going to have one hell of a day before Thanksgiving.
I'll be
Whoa.
fucking off to Sweden.
So, Slacks will be gone, Annie will
I'll
be
be there.
gone.
I'm
All right.
done.
Purge
I'm on
will
an
be
airplane that
gone.
day.
Andrew, let's do it, buddy. You and me.
So it's you, me, and Sunsfan, Mott. All right.
All right.
All right. Woo.
Oh man,
Have fun.
This is gonna be
we
good.
started so well. We had like 4-man panels.
All right.
2-man
All right.
panels.
You know what,
Now
Purge?
we're
I'm
just
done
like,
with you.
you guys
You're
are just
being
gonna-
mean.
You guys are just what? I'm saying we literally
Aw.
dedicated 6 people to every match of all of elimination mode, but because all these delays, we're down to 3. That's like, everybody else is busy.
Yeah.
We can always outsource.
Maybe
It's
we
all
can get Grant. Bring
we'll
Grant
get
in.
Grant. Grant's worth 2
I
panelists.
feel like we're getting shit on it.
The dream team.
He's fucking great. Let's talk about social justice issues.
Oh God.
I'm ready.
Oh God, dude.
Purge has just got everything bottled
I'm not
up.
gonna lie. I've had my fill of SJW action today.
Oh,
Here's
my.
what you need to do.
I
Everybody
wasted
just relax.
Way too much time on
Dude, you
Twitter
were
today,
fiending Twitter.
and I didn't work for
I
2
looked at
hours
it.
today. It
I
was
looked at it
bad.
an hour ago, and you know how it says, like, see other replies? It said, see all 492 replies? No. No.
Nope.
I do not wish to
Dude,
see
it's still
500.
going. There are people still tagging me in tweets talking about bigotry and how long it's existed and things back to the 1600s. Like, it's
Whoa.
going it's
Andrew-
going full meta at this point.
Andrew,
I checked out hours ago.
Check your fucking privilege, you white male.
God damn it, dude. Twitter is a lot of fun because it's all about, zingy 140 character gotchas, but there comes a point where you just got to
Andrew.
move on, man.
Just-
Andrew, you gotta stop turning a
Deep
blind
breath,
eye,
let
my
it
friend.
go.
Yeah,
You gotta
that,
stop
that was
turning
the
a-
best
turning
part.
a
Mott
blind
read
eye.
through some of it, and he just tweets, I think everybody needs to relax. Immediately, someone's like, you're part of the fucking problem, man. People like you are why we have social injustice.
Jesus.
They're right, man. They got me.
You're part of the
honestly.
problem, Mott. You
I'm
need to
part
calm
of the
down.
issue.
Mott, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck me, honestly.
But no, that was a
I'm
fun,
gonna tell
exciting
ya.
day. Thank you, Big Daddy, for keeping things spicy in the social media sphere.
Let me tell you about my life.
Ahoy.
Oh
I was,
boy.
I was an RA for 5 years. And every year, they have training for RAs. Now, you're only supposed to take it once. Most people are just RAs for a year, maybe 2. Not 5. I was very poor. Anyway, 1 week of this training, you arrive early, and it's a week-long social justice seminar.
I can
did
beat you, man.
5 times. Do you know how much I know about social fucking justice? How horrible it is? Listen to me, people. Just be good. Just be good to yourselves. I was locked in a room one time. They wouldn't let us leave. We had to write slurs about every single person, and they wouldn't let us leave because no one could think of a slur for a white heterosexual male, and we tried. All we got was breeders, and we had to come up with 3 slurs. These are the things. I made something up.
Wait, you couldn't figure out a white heterosexual male slur?
Cracker.
Like honky or cracker or
No. We tried, and the person that was in charge of it said, no, those aren't as offensive as the N-word. We're talking, they have to be like bad words. And we're like, and then it just never ended. I made up a word. I said, weaselfoot. And he said, what does that mean? And I said, I lived in a very gay community, and all the gay kids would make fun of me. And they'd say, you're a weasel foot, because weasels' foots are very similar to other animals' foots, and they're hardly indistinguishable. And then I went on the Wikipedia, and I fucking wrote it in as an article so that we could leave. And that teacher looked it up, and he's like, I'm sorry that you were abused for the weasel foots. And that was...
Holy shit.
You gotta take it. It's probably still on there. Google weasel foot on Urban Dictionary. I'm sure it's still on there. Alright? True story. You just gotta let it go. I like to think of the world as Fallout, right? Like, what if we all just came out of a vault one day, and then nobody knew all these things in the past? Then they wouldn't exist. So if you just don't use naughty words, or you don't get offended by naughty words, then they don't have power over you. It's like the elder gods in Sumerian culture. They feed off your belief in them. If you just don't think bad words mean bad things, then they have no power. It's diarrhea. They're beautiful. Just
Slacks, there actually is a Urban Dictionary entry for weasel foot, and it is, and I quote, a derogatory term aimed at no group or persons in particular, used with the intent of completely and utterly confusing the receiver of the insult.
The receiver of the insult.
Yep.
I wrote that 6 years ago to escape a meeting of social justice.
It was posted in 2007. It adds up.
I don't know if I believe you,
kind of.
I don't know.
I wrote it. We had to watch Crash 3 times.
Oh my god.
I hate that movie.
That movie is hard to watch.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great.
I went to a super liberal college, and you had to take a feminist class for at least one semester. And it was 60 people in my class. There were 3 men at the start, and they dropped out because they were scared. It was horrifying.
They were scared?
They were frightened. It was just, you get a bunch of like angry feminists in a room, and just they jack each other off for an hour and a half.
If
twice
there's
a
a
week.
guy taking a feminist class, how are you gonna be angry?
It's
at him?
mandatory.
How are you gonna fucking freak
It is
out?
a mandatory course. It was horrible. It was the worst fucking class I ever took. I sat in the back playing fucking Pokemon on my laptop. Never have I been so outraged at a group of people. There was a rule written on the board before every class. You had to check your privilege at the door.
Wow.
And we had a full week unit about the empowering qualities of free bleeding. And if you don't know what that is, do not fucking Google it.
I think I know what that is.
I think
Don't you
I have
fucking
a
do
feeling
it.
I know what it.
That doesn't sound like
and
fun
how
for
it's
anyone.
an empowering thing, and all women should do it. And if you don't do it, you're buying into the patriarchy. Fuck that. Oh my god.
Down with the men.
Oh my god. I can't even. That was the worst fucking class I ever took at college. I got a B- because I wrote my final paper 2 hours before it was due. I just thought about every stupid fucking feminist issue I could think of, ranted at it on a Word document.
Okay, feminism is important. Just
It
some
is
people
important.
take
No,
it
it is. It is important. But the things these people were getting triggered over were ridiculous.
I just wanted to make sure that it was clear.
We're getting off topic here.
Yeah, allow me to clear myself by saying something. I believe that everyone has the right to say things, and that you should always fight for what you think is right. And that is a great thing. It's what made this nation amazing. Never in the history of humankind has there ever been a nation that has been agreed upon to be a major power that has not been direct confrontation and under threat of destruction like the United States. Mostly because we allow people to say what they think and change how we live as a society to be the betterment of all of each other. But do not take those fights to Twitter, because it changes nothing. It's only 100 characters, you idiots. If you're putting part 2 of 8 in your fucking Twitter, you've done it wrong.
You fools.
You're fools.
Amen, Slacks. You preach it out, girl. You got this.
It's a system designed to only show you opinions of other people that have your opinions. You wouldn't follow somebody that you hate. It just doesn't happen. So you're only talking to the same peanut gallery. Don't you get it? You can't argue with people.
What are you talking
on
about?
Twitter.
I
You're
bet you
only
follow.
talking to other people on Twitter that know all the things you know that like what you like, you fucking idiot.
They call that an echo chamber.
I bet you follow Thorin Slacks.
No. Go out into the world. Spread your beliefs. Fight the good fight. Because sitting behind your computer, typing 100 characters about something that offended you is not doing anything. Go out there and change the world for how you want to have it changed actively. Okay? No hashtags. Go, children.
Go.
There you
Slacks,
go.
that was beautiful. That is a great note to end this episode of What the Duck on. Thank you, sir.
Wait, Purge needs to clear his air. He's upset.
No, right, I don't want to talk anymore. This is over. Show's ruined.
All right, great. So we'll see you guys next time on the next What the Duck. Quick little administrative thing here. Sorry to all of the iTunes users for the podcast. We installed SSL on the website, the security ticket, when we set up the store. Apparently, iTunes does not play so well with enhanced security for checkout on websites, so it tanked our iTunes listing. Buka is diligently working on it. We should have it back on iTunes, but if you're looking for the podcast version, the MP3, it is still available on the website in RSS feed, and you can still make it work on Android or any of the other just, random podcast burners that you can find on the internet that work on mobile. So it will be back on iTunes. I think that's at least the plan. If you're looking for it, sorry, it is temporarily down. Everything else, though, should be working. You'll find this VOD on YouTube and the home of the podcast at moonducktv/podcast. For the rest of these hosers, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of What the Duck.